So one of the places where GitHub Codespaces really shines is when you need to do a pull request review by one of your team members, and you, let's say, either do not have your machine with all the setup, or you do not really want to open up the pull request on your machine because you're doing some important work, but you really want to unblock your team member as well. So you can leverage code spaces in these situations. So let me show you how. I'm going to go to pull request, and I have one pull request right now. As I click here, I can see the file changed, which is right here, but I'm not entirely sure if this would work. So how do I make sure everything works by running it? So I can come on code, and here I can either check out this GitHub pull request manually on my own machine, or I can leverage GitHub Codespaces. Now, right now on the current branch, which is the change text, there's already a GitHub Codespaces. So this might have been opened up by my team member. I can either open the GitHub Codespaces on the same branch, in which case I will see the same change, or if I'm skeptical and I really need a team space, I can click on GitHub Codespaces plus button, in which case the changes from this branch, which is change text, will be used in order to create the GitHub Codespaces. So it's starting a fresh GitHub Codespaces and GitHub infrastructure. So it takes a little while in the first place, but in few moments, this project should be up and running. So now it says the Codespaces is here. It's activating the extensions, and it has opened up the README file. And I believe that we might have to run the npm install just to make sure that everything works fine first. So I'm going to do npm install. And as we let it run, it's running the npm install to make sure all the dependencies are installed. So once it is installed, I'll pause for now and come back when the installation is done. So the installation command is done. So the thing that I can do now is to run the app. I can go and click the ports. None of the port is running. So I'm going to clear the screen and run npm run dev. And as I hit run, it's running the app, and it has also opened up the port or forwarded the port on 5173, which I can look at by clicking on ports. And it's available in the private mode, which means only I can look at it. I can click on this link, and it'll open up the app for me. I can see that the change is right here, which is the change I was looking at in the original pull request, which is by Bonsai Labs. And since I'm happy with the changes, all I can do is I can close this. I can also look at the pull request by clicking on the pull request here, which means that the change is right here. There is other thing that we can do is we can either merge a pull request from github.com, or we can also use or leverage GitHub Codespaces to merge the pull request. So we can say it looks good to me, and I can hit comment, and I will say create merge commit. And it asked me to merge a pull request. Now you will feel that you're already in VS Code, which you are, but in the browser, and your code is not running locally, but running on GitHub infrastructure. As I click yes, this branch is now merged, and we have the message here, and we can also delete this branch right now. So as I click OK, before I do that, there is an option for us to suspend the code space, which I would love to, because I do not want to be using a code space that I'm not planning to use for further work. I'm going to hit OK, and it's stopping the code space right now, which is the upgraded memory, which is the code space that I am in at the moment. I believe once it's done, it'll close the tab, or it'll give me a message saying that the code space has now been suspended. But meanwhile, what we can do, see, it says code space is stopped, and I can either restart the code space or close this tab. As I do that, I can come back to my code repo. I can go back to the pull request. I can see one pull request has been closed. If I come here, my message that I typed from GitHub Codespace for the pull request has been left. The pull request has been merged and the branch has been deleted. This is fantastic. So if I go back to the Codespace now, I should to Codespace because this one has not been deleted, but rather stopped. So it's not active right now. Great. So as you can see, you can leverage GitHub Codespaces to do pull requests, to unblock your team members. Let's say you have 5 pull requests or 6 pull requests to review. You do not have to keep juggling between your single workspace on your local. You can leverage GitHub Codespaces to do all your pull request reviews and unblock your team members as fast as possible.